yeah, this is the topic for the day: building opportunities through social capital. It is handled by Mohammed Shabib, Executive Director of BNI Qatar. He's a life coach and founder of Zenex Life. He's a good friend of mine. I was lucky to spend 8 days with him. That is the moment I realized how much wisdom he have and the kind of helping mentality he have. And even though he is executive director of BNI Qatar, I'm proud he's part of Thrissur district. He's from Punawalam, and you should listen to each and every word he says. Don't miss a single word. You can take it from me. He's the best person I can bring, one of the best person I can bring into Business Success Conference. Over to you, Shabib.
Good evening, Thrissur, and good evening to everybody who's here. How are you all doing today? If you're feeling fantastic, say hi in the box, in the chat box. Say hi if you're feeling fantastic about today. Excellent. I want to make sure everybody's here. Thank you. A lot of eyes. Excellent. Yapshat, thank you so much for bringing me here. I really have to appreciate the initiative you have taken. It is amazing. It's not easy during this period of lockdown worldwide to stay positive and make sure that we are here to help our fellow humans, I would say, fellow business people and everybody around us. So the thing here is today, Yapshat told me, Shabib, can you talk about something? And I have to say that Yapshat did a great job with the first session. Thank you so much, Yapshat, because one of the things that you really did was set me up. The subject matter that you shared earlier on is something that is a favorite of mine, how to hire people and how to fire them also. Yeah, I'm good at firing. The thing is, many people make the mistake of keeping on trying, you know, and I really find it very sad when business owners are taken for a ride just because of the goodness that they carry in their heart. You know, business owners are not all of them are greedy or behind money. I would say that, you know, although we get classified like that by a lot of people, a lot of us actually do it out of goodness to support people, you know, to support our staff, to support people through what we do. We actually start businesses to change the world, right? How many of you have actually started your business thinking that I'm going to change the world with the business I'm doing? Say yes if you have actually done that, you know. Say yes if you started your business or you're working in the field that you are to change the world like we know it. Okay, so guys, I have a good news for you. The world has changed since last 3 weeks. Okay, it was not in our control. It all started with a very small virus which we can't see with our eyes, and literally overnight the world has changed around us. A lot of things that we used to take for granted is not there for us right now. A lot of things that we were doing as just, you know, part of our life without a second thought has become something that we have to think thrice or 4 times. Even going to the grocery to buy materials, I mean food for your family, has become something that has to be thought about. Taken permission from the police to be going out, you know, a lot of challenges that is around us. So I'm going to be doing a hybrid of Malayalam and English. If anybody is there who is not comfortable with me speaking Malayalam, just say I will say, just say put X if you think that Malayalam is going to be difficult for you. Put X if you think that Malayalam is going to be different for you. Okay, I don't see any X's, so it's fine. Good. So sometimes you don't have to answer the question, so that's good. All right. So starting off, the next life is my, I'm going to share my screen right now. All right. Good. Yapshat, my screen is shared?
Yeah, perfect.
Excellent, excellent. So Zenex Life is my entity, which actually Zenex is a name that is the name of my first company. I started my first company back in 2003. I was a software engineer, just fresh out of college. And second month out of college, I started a company called Zenex Technologies with a friend of mine, and a cousin of mine later joined. And then we were basically set out to change the world. We wanted to be the next Bill Gates. At that time, you know, Bill Gates was the role model, and we started off in Cochin with a small software company, which eventually grew to 25 people. But then I diversified into a different field of trading of industrial tools and equipments, and then 2008 was a big story. So guys, it's happened before. The market has collapsed before. People have gone through challenges. I have gone through many days when my bank balance was zero. A lot of people ask me, Shabib, what's the difference between you and your classmates? I say, I'm okay with my bank balance being zero because tomorrow is another day for me to build my capital. So it's okay, guys. The world has changed many times. There's been multiple times when markets have collapsed. things have been challenging for business people. It's not always rosy, okay? Thing is, what's constant is your passion. What's constant is your inspired actions, your motivation. That is to be constant. You have to make sure you are staying strong. You are going ahead with what you have to do to make sure that your business works. So this is who I am, Mohammed Shabib. I'm a life coach and founder of Zenix Life, which I incidentally made sure that my first company's name didn't die. And I revived it a few years back, actually last year, after I did a life coaching program, which took me almost 1.5 years to complete, along with an entry into neuro-linguistic programming. And my best client is myself. So what happened for me was my master coach, actually, the courses that he taught me was, the main thing that he taught me was, change the way you talk with the person you talk to the most in the day, and it's going to change. So who do you speak to the most in a day? Who do you speak to most in a day? Answer that in the chat box. If you know the answer to the question, who do you speak to the most in a day? Answer that. Why do I not see the chat box right now? Okay. All right. So who do you talk to the most in a day? Come on, guys, participate. Yourself. Excellent. Excellent. So guys, the person who you spend the time most with is not your mother or wife. Believe me, it is yourself. Okay. You are speaking to yourself the most. The person who you spend the most in a day with is yourself. So are you happy with yourself? Are you happy with spending time with yourself? So what my coach taught me was, should we change the way you talk to yourself and see the world change around you? And literally it did overnight. To be very honest, again, as Yapshat said, I have done a series of 8-day workshops, 6-day workshops with multiple people. And one thing that I learned was exactly what Yapshat said. Great business owners are the best learners. And when you learn from others who are better than you, or even, it's not about just people who are better than you. Even your staff can teach you valuable subjects. I have learned the most from my business development manager, who is much senior than me, who is almost, I think, 55 years old. But he taught me a lot of lessons. He taught me a lot of lessons. And I have immense gratitude to him. He's been working with me for the past 13 years. He's my business development manager. So the thing is, if you change the way you talk to yourself, it changes the way you are going to see the world and the way opportunities around you. So going back to the subject of the day, building opportunity through social capital. And a lot of questions that was asked when Yapshat finished, I thought, like, what an amazing audience. Like, you guys are so driven. You guys are so amazing. You have the right questions. You just need to find the answers. And many a time, the answers are not given by others. Only the guidance is given by someone else. What happens is the answers come to you when you are being guided by the right people. Try to find the answers yourself, because not everybody has the answers. If you ask me, Shabib, who is the right person right now to teach me how to make sure that my business survives this lockdown and COVID, I would say nobody. I don't think there's anybody alive right now who has survived the cholera in 1918, 102 years back, who can tell you what happened at that time. One thing I can tell you is that after that, the life came back on. So right now, there is no experts who can actually teach you how to do it. There are only people who can keep you motivated, keep you guided to ensure that you are in the best of the mindset. At this time, if you would invest anywhere, it's in your head, because there's nothing else you can invest in right now except for the time that you have to invest in your head and with the people around you and in your health, so that you can be sure that you can come through this with the best of attitude. നിങ്ങളുടെ തലയിൽ ഇടുന്ന കാര്യങ്ങളാണ് ഇപ്പോൾ നിങ്ങൾക്ക് നല്ല രീതിയിൽ മുന്നോട്ട് കൊണ്ടുപോകാൻ പോകുന്നത് ഈ ഒരു സന്ദർഭം കഴിയുമ്പോൾ. If you think that made sense, please say yes in the chat box. What I just said made sense to you, please say yes in the chat box. Yes, yes, yes. Excellent, excellent. Thank you. What a wonderful audience. I'm really appreciating the fact that you guys are participating with me. So, Jay Abraham famously said, there are only 3 ways to grow a business. Okay, so all of us are looking for opportunity to grow a business, right? So there are only 3 ways to grow your business. First thing is to increase the number of transactions. That is to get more new customers. The second thing is to increase the average transaction value. Get current customers to spend more. Make people buy more from you. Increase the transaction frequency. Get customers to come back more often. Very easily said, right? But not everyone gets this right. We see a lot of people who are doing this right, but we kind of try on keeping to find that magic formula on how to get these 3 things done. It is not easy. I will say it's not difficult also. The thing is, you need discipline. It's discipline that is going to get you this. So what is discipline? You know what is the biggest thing that people have that they always depend on to get through difficult times? If you know the answer, please type down. It's a 4-letter word. It's a 4-letter word, starts with the letter H. If you think that you know the answer to this question, what gets people through during difficult times? Come on, think. Get those gray cells running. Wow, the first answer, Anand Padmanabhan, you are amazing. My friend, you got it right. Hope, help, but hope, it is hope. Excellent, wow, amazing. Hope, unfortunately, is not a business strategy. It is good to live life with hope and making sure that you can, you will get through this with the right way, but hope is not a strategy. So this, I think this is a very blurry picture, so you're not able to read who has actually mentioned that. So this was basically shared in workshops that is run by US Air Force Special Ops pilots. Okay, they put this in front of US Air Force pilots, because when they get into a sortie, which is basically, getting into the plane to go for surveillance or for doing rounds along the borders or in a war zone, what they are trained to is have a strategy to make sure you get back home safe. Because if you're going to be hoping for it, that's not a strategy. You need to be alert. You need to know exactly what options are available for you. If you get into a fight, understand what are your resources, how many bullets you have, how many missiles you have, what's your radar capacity, how fast is your enemy flying, are they faster than you, what kind of ammunitions do they carry, which you have to be careful about, so that you will have a strategy that will help you get back home safely. Does that make sense? If so, say yes, please. Right? If you don't have a strategy, if pilots didn't have a strategy to get back home, how many pilots would be alive right now after a war? None, right? So it is important to understand that hope is not a strategy. As business people, we cannot put things on hope. We have to think on our feet. We have to make sure our head is filled with the right thoughts about how to get through this. Okay, how to get through difficulty. So I'm going to share a template with you. This is my personal strategy. Right now, if you ask me what am I doing right now to overcome the situation that is happening around me with the lockdown, I have not left my house except for grocery 2 times in the last, since March 10th, to make it simpler. March 10th, but in between that, so you know that I'm the executive director for BNI Qatar, right? Bastian is also here. Hi, Bastian. Thank you for being here. I really appreciate that. So, without leaving this home, I was able to basically convert our entire team online. You know that BNI meetings are happening online. We inducted 4 people online. We are having almost 25 people visiting our chapters in today, tomorrow, and day after tomorrow. So without leaving home, BNI, which was a completely in-person company, completely converted to an online company. Our CEO, Graham, the team behind him is amazing, and they did not put things on hope. They saw things happening long before. When things started going bad in China, the strategy was created, it was formulated, they had experts advising them, and within the last 3 weeks, the entire world of BNI is online. Do you think that worked because of hope? If you think that worked on hope, say yes. If not, say no. What do you think? Yes or no? Did that come because of hope? What do you think on the chat box? Exactly. There's a backup plan, and there's just not one backup plan, guys. There's multiple backup plans. There's lots of backup plans. Look at this. Look at this chart I have in front of you. Okay. So what I did is the rest of my life, or I would say till the rest of the year, right now, is basically divided into 3. Okay, what am I going to do during this lockdown? Okay, what am I going to do post the lockdown? And what am I going to do the next year? Okay, so to overcome the lockdown, my business strategy is plan for the worst, which you will see here in the top. I have written it here. I'm just going to annotate here so that you guys are able to see it. So if you look here, this is the business strategy that I'm following. Plan for the worst, expect the best, and capitalize on the now. You got to capitalize on what you have. Okay, there's no meaning in hoping for something and saying that, okay, I will do it when I hope things are going to be better. No, you got to capitalize on the now. You got to see what is there right now, and you got to capitalize on the now. So during the lockdown, what should you do? Work on connecting to whatever opportunities exist in the market, right? This is basically what you should be doing. There is still opportunities. There is still opportunities in the market. You can basically still do a lot of things in the market. You have to work on the opportunities that is there in the market. Approach survival with a scale-up mindset, not a survival mindset. If you're trying to survive right now, guys, believe me, after the lockdown, you will not be existing. Think about surviving like a scale-up. Okay, scale your business up. So if you ask me, how should I think right now? If you have an expense of, let's say, 2 lakh rupees per month as your expense, think like a company that has 4 lakh rupees as your expense. What will a 4 lakh rupee expense company do? They will have a double the sales target as much as a 2 lakh rupee company. So which means, നിങ്ങൾക്ക് 2 ലക്ഷത്തിന്റെ ചെലവാണ് ഒരു മാസം നിങ്ങൾ ബിസിനസ് നിലനിർത്താന്ന് വെച്ച് കഴിഞ്ഞാൽ 4 ലക്ഷമാണ് നിങ്ങളെ ചെലവെന്ന പോലെ നിങ്ങൾ പണിയെടുക്കണം. എന്നാലാണ് നിങ്ങൾക്ക് സർവൈവ് ചെയ്യാൻ പറ്റുള്ളൂ. Forget about surviving. It's about scaling up. That's what I said. So replace the word survival with scaling up. Right now, approach things with a scale-up mindset. Does that make sense? If you think that makes sense, type yes. Right? So double your sales target right now and work for that. Because if you do that, you will get 50% of the target, which means you will actually be still working, having a business after the lockdown. Create strategies to simplify and streamline your business. So you used to think a lot of times, right? That's what you have right now. You have not 2 weeks, you have more than 2 weeks. More than 2 weeks in your hand, streamline and simplify your business process. Strengthen your weak points by learning yourself. So learn yourself what you have to learn right now. Whatever you kept for later on, learn about that. And train your staff to complement your strategy. You got to train your staff to complement your strategy. നിങ്ങൾ മാത്രം പഠിച്ചാൽ പോരാ, നിങ്ങൾ സ്റ്റാഫിനെ പഠിപ്പിക്കണം. നിങ്ങളൊപ്പം ജോലി ചെയ്യുന്നവരും പഠിപ്പിക്കണം. നിങ്ങളൊപ്പം ജോലി ചെയ്യുന്നവരെ നിങ്ങൾ പഠിപ്പിച്ചിട്ടില്ലെങ്കിൽ എന്തുണ്ടാവുമെന്ന് അറിയോ? Okay, so what do I start off saying that? ഞാൻ എന്താ തുടങ്ങിയത് പറഞ്ഞത്? നമ്മൾ ചുറ്റും ലോകം മാറി. Okay, and when your staff are going to come back, they are going to come into a new world with old knowledge. പുതിയ ലോകത്തിലേക്ക് പഴയ അറിവ് വെച്ചിട്ട് അവർ വരാൻ പോകുന്നത്. Does that make sense? Type yes if you think so. They are coming with the old knowledge because the challenges that there's going to be there in the market is different. It's a totally different marketplace. There's a lot of opportunities that's going to change. You will see how it works out. Create multiple versions and options of your strategy. So a lot of people are saying no problem. I'm not saying you're wrong, because if you are saying no, that means you're confident that your market is not being touched. I'm saying you're in a very good position because you're confident that your market has not been touched. You would be in a market that is still surviving this lockdown and still getting orders because you're in a market that is still surviving. But that's not the case for 80% of the verticals that's out there. 20% of the verticals, yes, the opportunities will be the same. So you might be lucky that you are in that vertical. But believe me, after this, the competition is going to increase, because if you are in a vertical that is having 20%, in that 20%, ആ 20% നല്ല രീതിയിൽ ഇപ്പോഴും നിലനിൽക്കുന്ന ഓപ്പർച്യൂണിറ്റീസ് ഉള്ള ഒരു മാർക്കറ്റിലാണ് നിങ്ങൾ ഓപ്പറേറ്റ് ചെയ്യണമെന്ന് വെച്ചാൽ, after this lockdown is over, your competition is going to go up because a lot of people are going to start food business. How many of you have actually thought right now about the fact that after this you will invest some money in a food business or in a medical business or in a business that has to do with safety items, right? So there's a lot of people who are right now thinking akkar ka pacha. Okay, so believe me, the market is going to change for you. So I understand, I'm not saying you're wrong, but your competition is going to increase. Okay, so if you are in the 20% market where you think I'm in a good position right now, believe me, your position is good right now, but the competition is going to get much hotter after this lockdown. So post the lockdown, please understand, you have to have a better sales staff, better staff working to make sure you're surviving in that competition. If you're in the market that has 80% that is affected, that 80% verticals that is affected because of this lockdown, understand that if you retool, reskill your staff properly, find the best of them and retool them, reskill them to operate in this new world, world that has changed around you, that will be a great thing. The main thing is, ഞാൻ പറയാനുള്ള എൻ്റെ വളരെ ഫേവറേറ്റ് റിപ്പോർട്ട് ഇതാണ്. ഓക്കെ, നമ്മൾ കേരളത്തിലാണ്, കാസർഗോഡിലും മലയാളം, ട്രിവാൻഡ്രത്തും മലയാളം. ഓക്കെ, രണ്ടിടത്തുള്ള മലയാളം സംസാരിക്കുന്ന ആൾക്കാരെ നമ്മൾ കേട്ട് കഴിഞ്ഞാൽ, ഡു യു അണ്ടർസ്റ്റാൻഡ് ദം? നമുക്ക് ഇറ്റ്സ് ടോട്ടലി ഡിഫറെന്റ്, റൈറ്റ്? ശരിയല്ലേ? ട്രൂ? യെസ്. The Malayalam that is being spoken in Kasaragod and Trivandrum is totally different. But if you look at it, a Malayalam teacher who comes from Kasaragod and a Malayalam teacher who comes from Trivandrum teaches the same thing, the same Malayalam. They speak different Malayalam at home, but when they come into teaching job, they speak the same thing. Makes sense? I want you to relate this with your sales staff or with your staff right now. You keep on saying something, but they understand something else, right? You keep on saying something, but they understand something else. Why is that? Because you have not trained them the way you think. You are not giving them the tools that you are using or the learnings you have. You are not giving the same learnings to them. കാസർഗോഡുള്ള ഒരു മലയാളിനെയും തിരുവനന്തപുരത്തുള്ള മലയാളിനെ രണ്ടുപേരും എടുത്തിട്ട് ടീച്ചിങ് സ്കൂളിൽ ഇട്ടിട്ട് ടീച്ചേഴ്സ് ആക്കാൻ വേണ്ടി പഠിപ്പിച്ചാൽ രണ്ടുപേർക്കും സെയിം മലയാളം പഠിപ്പിക്കാൻ പറ്റും. So think about it. Your staff and you have different learnings right now. രണ്ടുപേരും രണ്ട് രീതിയിൽ ആലോചിക്കുന്നുണ്ടാവുക. If you invest the time right now in learning yourself and in helping your staff learn along with you on what is the strategy going ahead, it's like the both of you are learning the official Malayalam right now. Makes sense? Yes. Can you say yes if you think that what I just said makes sense with this regards to strengthening the weak points? So this is what I said. So I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just asking you to think in a different perspective about that, the new world that is going to come. Okay. If you're in the 20% business that has not been affected, competition is going to get hotter. If you're in the 80% business that is going to be affected, competition is hot, and the pricing wars that we spoke about earlier is going to start, and your staff, the better service, the better features you're going to give to your clients is what is going to make sure customers are going to be with you. So, and create multiple versions and options for your strategy. You've got to create multiple versions and options for your strategy. Rapidly implement your simplification and streamlining strategy. So after this lockdown and when you come back to normalcy, we're not still normal, we're coming back to normal. So things will start getting back to normal. We start going back to office, kids start going back to school, people, there's not much restrictions in the around us with regards to movement and everything. You have to implement the strategy very fast. You got to adjust to market opportunities because the market opportunities have changed. Create more mind share. I want all of you to remember this name. So many of you asked, how can I increase my business earlier with Yapshat? It is about mind share. You got to focus on mind share. How many of you have heard about this mind share before? Say yes if you have heard it. Say no if you have not heard about this word before. Mind share. Good. So I'm going to be giving you something new today. I'm very happy. Thank you, Yapshat, for this opportunity. You're letting me share something new for a lot of people. So mindshare is a word I want you to keep in your head and make sure that word has a lot of mindshare in your head right now. Okay. So Nisham, you have heard this from me before. Support your clients and work on adapting your products and services. Support your clients because their market has also changed. The way they work has also changed. They're also going through the same challenges we are right now. Okay, not able to go out and everything. So we got to make sure that we are basically supporting them also to overcome their challenges. Understand pricing challenges and adapt operational cost according to your strategy. This is something which is, I'm going to share a metaphor with this later on, but this is something you have to really keep in your mind. It is not something you're going to get a solution overnight. It's going to take you many trials before you get there. It'll take you maybe many months. Sometimes you'll get it in a week. Sometimes you might get it in a day. But understand that this point is something that is going to be an experimental thing. I'm going to share something about experimenting later on. Focus on not just surviving, work to thrive. Don't survive, please thrive. Are you ready to thrive? If you are ready to thrive, please type the word thrive. Are you ready to thrive? Type the word thrive. I want all of your fingers on the keyboard typing thrive. You have to be ready to thrive. Excellent. Thank you. Thank you. So what happens is, expect normalcy to be completely in place and people to put these things behind by January 1st, 2021. Okay. Whatever you're doing right now is to build up for success in 2021. Success in 2020 is basically making sure you are there in 2021 to do business. Okay. Profits can happen. I'm not saying it won't happen. It can happen if you're very smart and you are really doing what you're supposed to. And you have been able to adapt to the challenges as fast as you can. It's all in your hands. If you are able to do it, business profit. I'm not saying it's out of the window. It's still possible. You got to just think with clarity. Clear, okay. What you're doing right now is setting your business for success in 2020. So you got to have the long path, okay, ramping up. So we saw that long road, right? That road, ramp up the road in length and that photo container. So you got to make sure that you are basically ready for the journey. Okay, so build focus. Next year, build focus to scale faster than your competitors. Like what I said earlier, if you are in that 20% business that is thriving right now, you will have more competition. If you're in the business that is in that 80% that is affected now, you will have less competition, but you will have more pricing challenges also. So the challenges for everybody is going to be almost the same. So make sure you're focusing to scale faster than your competitors. Keep empowering mindshare. Again, one more time, the word mindshare has come up over here, right? So we're going to understand what that word mindshare is. Focus on keeping opportunity costs low. Focus on keeping opportunity costs low. What is opportunity cost? How many of you know what is opportunity cost? Say yes if you know it, say no if you don't know. All right. So there's a mixed answer. Okay. So let's understand what is mindshare. Let's understand what is opportunity cost. Let's make sure what we are happy, what we are going to learn right now. So I want all of you to be excited. Are you excited? If you're excited, please type excited to learn more. And what you learned right now is making sense. Type the word excited. Excited, E-X-C-I-T-E-D, guys, not excited. Don't leave, please. I'm just joking. So excitement is what keeps passion alive. Okay, please be excited about things. I'm really excited to be here. I'm really excited that you guys are here. I do not know right now how many participants are. We have 60. We have around 70 participants. Yes. So we have to make sure that we are excited, because it is our excitement about our passion to do business, help people, make sure we are able to be in the race, be in the game that is going to take us further. Okay, so what is there is basically I want to share a quote by Steve Jobs. Okay, what Steve Jobs said is, if you're working on something exciting that you really care about, you don't have to be pushed. The vision pulls you. So you are excited, right? So right now you guys are excited. You guys have a vision of doing business even through this, after this, and next year. So be excited, and that vision is going to keep you, is going to pull you. You don't have to do anything. Work with that excitement, work with that passion, and then what is going to happen is that is going to pull you. So thanks to Steve Jobs, God bless his soul, an amazing man, had a lot of challenges, pros and cons, but still he made sure that Apple is one of the most valuable company in the world right now. And do you know that at one point Apple was actually going to close down, completely closed down, right? But then they came back up, and right now they are the biggest company, one of the biggest companies right now in the world. All right, so be excited, remain excited, because we're going to learn something. I'm not going to elaborate on what I'm going to say right now. Next, I'm just going to run through this briefly. This is a very, very deep subject. It takes at least 2 to 3 days to actually do a proper SWOT analysis. If you have attended any workshop that is SWOT analysis within 3 hours, and then they tell you, oh, now you're ready to manage a business, believe me, I'm not a believer of a SWOT analysis that is done in 3 days. 3 hours. I believe in doing a SWOT analysis in a 3-day workshop. Okay, a SWOT analysis is a very, 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 very powerful tool, because it tells you what is your strength, it tells you what is your weaknesses, it tells you what's your opportunities, and tells you what's your threats. But many of us have just heard these words, but we don't know what to do with these words, right? How many of you have actually, done a SWOT analysis here, till now? Say yes if you have done that. Say no if you have not done it. Okay. So a lot of you know about it, a lot of you don't know about it. Please go online, YouTube, there's a lot of videos, there's some guidelines on it, but to do a proper SWOT analysis, you do need someone to assist you, someone who knows how to do it properly. Okay, it's a very, very, very wide subject. It lets you create a crystal clarity on where you're going, because a SWOT analysis tells you what to capitalize on. It lets you capitalize on your strength, overcome your weaknesses, invest in the opportunities that is there, and identify and manage the threats. Have you heard something like that? Capitalize on your strengths, overcome your weaknesses, invest in the opportunities, and identify and manage the threats in the market. Does it make sense? Right now, suddenly, when I say this, I get goosebumps. Okay, this is like, oh my God. When I put these words together, the capitalize, invest, overcome, identify, and manage, when I heard this first, I got goosebumps, because I was making SWOT analysis lot of times. Business, okay, after 6 months, SWOT analysis. But when I found this, it changed the way I started thinking about my life, about my business, because it let me define my goals. Okay, it let me define my goals. How? It let me define my goals by basically understanding what are my financial goals, by making me understand what's my goals when it comes to customers, what's my internal process goals, what's my people goals, skills and capabilities. So one thing that Yapshat earlier shared about sales, same thing. So what is your goals? When you make the SWOT analysis, you will basically you can actually make the ideal biodata of a person you want for your sales if you're able to do the SWOT analysis properly. Have you ever done that? Like, നിങ്ങൾ ഒരു സാമ്പിൾ ബയോഡാറ്റ ഉണ്ടാക്കിയിട്ട് ഈ ബയോഡാറ്റ മാച്ച് ചെയ്യുന്ന ആൾക്കാരെ നിങ്ങൾക്ക് വേണ്ടിയെന്ന രീതിയിൽ എപ്പോഴും ഫിൽട്ടർ ഔട്ട് ചെയ്തു. You can do that if you do the SWOT analysis properly, but for that you need to also define everything else: financial, customers, internal, and people. And then you need to create a scorecard, which Yapshad also spoke about earlier. Having a scorecard about how well your people are progressing is very, very, very important. If you do not measure what you are doing, what you're going to do is you're going to fail, because you do not know what you have to improve. You just think you're improving. You do not know whether you're improving. Okay, till that paper, it's on paper. I always tell that. One of my most favorite things that I keep on telling people is, please do not make your balance sheet and profit and loss just to make the authorities happy. Okay, നമ്മൾ മിക്കവരും ബാലൻസ് ഷീറ്റും പ്രോഫിറ്റ് ലോസും ഉണ്ടാക്കുന്ന ടാക്സ് റിട്ടേൺസ് കൊടുക്കുന്നുണ്ട് അല്ലേ, right? I am someone who practices doing balance sheet and profit loss almost on a half monthly basis. Every 15 days I make it. You know why? Because the balance sheet and profit and loss is my best friend. They are my best friends when it comes to my business. You know why? We have all heard this. നമ്മളെല്ലാവരും കേട്ടിട്ടാണ്, നമ്മളെ ഏറ്റവും ഉത്തമ സുഹൃത്തുക്കൾ നമ്മൾക്ക് കണ്ണാടി പോലെയാണ്. കാരണം എന്തുകൊണ്ടാണ്? നമ്മളുടെ പ്രശ്നങ്ങൾ നമുക്ക് പറഞ്ഞു. They tell you what is the problem with you and they want to improve you. Okay. അപ്പോൾ കണ്ണാടി പോലെയാണ് നമ്മുടെ ബാലൻസ് ഷീറ്റും പ്രോഫിറ്റ് ആൻഡ് ലോസും. They tell you what is the problem with your business or what you're doing well with your business, and it tells you exactly what you have to do. The thing is, you need to learn how to learn that, and then you got to measure. So if you're not doing anything else, guys, I'll tell you, please go back, get a good accountant, and make sure you are religiously, if no other metrics, no other reports you're doing, do your balance sheet and profit and loss, and learn how to read it. Because if you do that, you will basically understand how well your business is working. So that aside, we are now going to enter into the most interesting part of this session, as per my, it's my favorite subject, opportunity cost, something that I have come up with after becoming in BNI. And I used to think, so BNI didn't work well for me when I was a member, but once I became a executive director, it really became really good for me, because I understood what BNI is about, how it works. And then what I started analyzing was, okay, why is BNI working the way it is working? So when I was looking at all the material and everything, BNI is telling us a lot of things to do, but what's the science behind it? So I basically researched, and I came up with something which literally has changed my life and changed the life of a lot of people, because they were able to sit down and understand what opportunity cost is. They were able to understand what mindshare is. So understand that growth is a process of trial and error, experimentation. Okay, so we spoke about earlier, right? When I told you make more than one plan, make sure that you are adapting to the challenges and fine-tuning your plan faster and faster. You are basically experimenting. Very simple. Okay, you have heard about Usain Bolt. Usain Bolt is the fastest person who is alive, who right now, he has run so many races, but professionally he has run like racer ഓടിയിട്ടുള്ള നോക്കുകയാണെങ്കിൽ 12 മിനിറ്റ് മാക്സിമം ഓടിയിട്ടുള്ളൂ. 12 മിനിറ്റ് ആണ് ഒരു 100 റേസ് 120 റേസുകളിലായിട്ട്. കാരണം 10 സെക്കൻഡ് ഓടാടുക്കുന്നുള്ളൂ 100 മീറ്റർ. അപ്പോൾ 10 സെക്കൻഡ് എടുക്കാനാണെങ്കിൽ 1 മിനിറ്റിൽ 6 റേസ് ആണ് ഓടുന്നത്. 6 റേസ് ഇൻറ്റു 12 എന്ന് വെച്ചാൽ 72 റേസ്. സോ അറൌണ്ട് 100 റേസസ് ഹീസ് റൺ in his life. പക്ഷെ ആ 100 റേസ് റൺ ചെയ്യാൻ വേണ്ടി he's run hours and hours. The other days he's practiced waking up early in the morning, eating his diet, making sure he's exercising so that he's fit for running that. Business ഒരു പ്രശ്നം എന്ന് വെച്ചാൽ experimentation കഴിഞ്ഞാൽ പൈസ പോകും. So you got to adapt fast. Okay, so that firing fast എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞത്, it's very important, that Yapshad spoke about earlier. You got to make sure that if the experiment is going wrong, throw out what is not working and make sure you retain what is working. I'm not saying throw out people, I'm saying let them go with the right mindset, but make sure you are basically having your laboratory intact. Okay, laboratory la experiment ചെയ്യാൻ പറ്റില്ല. So when you are basically having your business and treating it like a very safe, sanctity of a laboratory, like how a scientist treats his laboratory, get rid of things that is not working. Okay, and go to the next option. Thomas Edison has famously said that he's found 9,999 ways that the bulb will not work, and the one way it worked, he found it out on the 10,000th try. I don't know whether it's a fable, but it's something that really makes focus. Another famous saying, Bruce Lee says, I am afraid of the person who has practiced that one kick 10,000 times, because if he lands that one kick, I am dead. Right? So make sure practice makes perfect, but in business, the problem is practice costs money. So we got to make sure we are adapting very fast. Does that make sense? If it does make sense, please type the word yes. Excellent, excellent. Thank you so much for being here. I got to see some more yeses before I continue, because I want to make sure that everybody is in front of the computer or the phone. Some more yeses. Come on, come on. Okay, let's make sure everybody's here. Good. You know, the problem with this long webinar and with not having people in front of the screen, in front of you, is that you don't know whether they're still. Thank you for being here, guys. Thank you so much. You guys are so wonderful. Thank you for indulging me. All right. Opportunity cost. What's an opportunity cost? So for those who didn't know what's opportunity cost, and for those who know what's opportunity cost, this is the definition I go by. A benefit, profit. This is very highly scientific, this thing, but very simply what it says is, if there is something that will help you make money, that is an opportunity. It could be land, it could be human resource, it could be market opportunity, it could be anything. But if there is something where you do something, take it and convert into something, and you are able to do something with it, that's where it's an opportunity. So something that must be given up to acquire or achieve something else. So you got to invest that in, you got to invest in that opportunity. You got to take something and invest in something and create something of more value, so that you are able to basically build value in terms of making sure that you are recovering the cost of what you put in. Okay, opportunity costs are fundamental. So this is something that I really have to emphasize on. Opportunity costs are fundamental costs in economics, and are used in computing cost benefit analysis of a project. So your project is your business. Such costs, however, are not recorded in the account books but are recognized in decision making by computing cash outlays and their resulting profit and loss. Now you understand why I take this profit and loss so importantly. When you read this sentence, right now, this is why I am so serious about profit and loss statement. Does it make sense now? If it makes sense, type yes. I know it will be a bit confusing, but right now you understand why it is important to understand what is opportunity cost, because that is one of the biggest things that actually drives people's profits down. Okay. നമ്മൾ എല്ലാവരും കച്ചവടം ചെയ്യുമ്പോൾ എനിക്ക് ആ സെയിൽ 20% കിട്ടി, ഈ സെയിൽ 25% കിട്ടി, ഈ സെയിൽ 15% കിട്ടി എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞിട്ട് നമ്മളിങ്ങനെ പോകും. പക്ഷെ കൊല്ലം അവസാനം ആകുമ്പോൾ നമ്മൾ ഓഡിറ്ററിന്റെ അടുത്ത് പോകുമ്പോൾ ഓഡിറ്റർ പറയും, സാറേ 10% കംപ്ലീറ്റ് ഓഡിറ്റ് ചെയ്ത് കഴിഞ്ഞപ്പോൾ ലാഭം കാണുന്നുള്ളത്. ഞാൻ ആവറേജ് 18% വെച്ചിട്ടാണ്, എന്റെ 8% അവിടെ പോയി എന്നുള്ളതാണ്. Right? We keep on thinking, where did 8% go? So if you have been in that position, just say I. Just say type I if you have been in that position. Like you have averaged out your profits from your this thing, but at the end of the year, see, everyone falls for that trap. Even I used to do that. Okay, believe me, I used to do. What changed my life was when I understood what I was doing wrong. Okay, I understood what I was doing wrong. So if somebody is there who understands this, say I just type yes. Like you are someone who were able to understand where this 8% goes. Say yes. Okay, Shyam knows where that 8% goes. What I meant. Okay, somebody else. Okay, not many people. Thank you for being honest. Thank you for being honest, guys, because those who are honest only can really learn. Okay, thank you for being honest. Sometimes, okay. So let's learn how it goes. Okay. So the thing about opportunity again is nothing is more expensive than a missed opportunity. So if you miss an opportunity, there's nothing more expensive than it. I'm going to tell you how. Are you ready to learn what is an opportunity? Are you ready to learn what is an opportunity? Okay. Yes, exactly. Good. So this diagram is my baby. Okay. It is something that I've taken a lot of pain to do a lot of research, and I have sat down and discussed this with almost 200 people. Okay, I have discussed this with almost 200 people, and this was actually fine-tuned from that 200 people interview. I have actually made this diagram. So this is something very valuable. What I'm giving you is worth a lot of money, guys, and I'm giving it to you free, just because at this time it's all about givers gain for me. Okay, you can understand how much 200 hours is, and you can understand what kind of effort must have gone into doing this. There's a lot of effort, there's a lot of pain. It is a 2-year effort that what you guys are going to see here. Are you happy that you're getting this? If you are happy that you're getting this, type the word happy. Great, thank you. I'm also happy that I'm able to share this with you. All right, so what is an opportunity? Okay, let's understand what is an opportunity. Okay, what do you think is an opportunity? I'm going to move a little bit faster over here, because this exercise usually takes 1 hour. We don't have 1 hour. I want to finish this in 20 minutes so that we can complete this and take your questions and answers. If you have any questions, like how Yapshit said, please put it in the question and answer box, and I will answer it towards the end. So an opportunity is basically when there is a need in the market, right? There's a need in the market, and it is people who have need. Even companies are made up of people. Okay, you have to understand that. A need only arises if there is someone who is creating that need. Okay, so all of us basically start our business because we see that there is a need in the market. There's someone who needs our service. There are only very few people who basically said that people don't know what they want, I know what they want. Who said that? Who said that my customers don't know what they want, but I know what they want? Who said that? Can anybody answer that? We mentioned that person's name, or exactly, to Steve Jobs, right? Hamza Safar is a very good friend of mine. I have spent a lot of time with him also discussing this and all. Thank you, Hamza, for being here. So Steve Jobs said, customers don't know what they want, we know what they want. You know someone else who's doing that? Elon Musk. Do you know someone else who's doing that? Bill Gates. Do you know someone else who's doing that? Do you know someone who's doing that? Jeff Bezos. Do you know someone else who's doing that? Mark Zuckerberg. So it's people who are basically changing the world, who basically understood something that people are not using. Exactly, innovators. So innovators are people who created the need. They didn't find a need, they created the need. Does it make sense? Yes. So most of us basically start a business because we see a need. Okay. But innovators basically create a need. I'm not asking you to be an innovator right now. What you're doing is really good. Okay. The needs in the people is what actually sustains a good business. Those people, they got away with it because they were 1 in a million. Okay. And there are still 1 in a million people in our state also. You know, if you look at Baiju from Trivandrum, amazing person. He's a teacher, and he understood a need, and he's basically created one of the biggest unicorns, right? So basically, he understood he just didn't see the need. He created the need. Now, basically, if you look at it, Baiju is one person who's sitting on a huge opportunity just because of the fact that all of us are not able, our kids are not able to go to school. So sometimes, and look at Zoom, this tool that we are using. Do you know that the person who created Zoom, I think his name is Jack or something like that. I can't remember his name. Someone, if you remember his name, please type. Baiju's from Kannur, okay, not from Trivandrum. My mistake. Okay, so okay, the person who made Zoom, he's a Chinese person. Okay, he's from China. His visa was rejected 8 times to go into US. The 9th time he got his visa approved. He joined Cisco. He worked in Eric Yuan, exactly. He worked in WebEx, and then he created something that is easy for people to use, and which is why Zoom is the world-changing organization that it is right now. So all of you know the story of Xerox, right? Photocopy is called Xerox. It's not Xerox. It's not Xerox copy. It's photocopy, but we call it Xerox because of the company that invented it. So right now, video conferencing has become, let's Zoom it. So basically, that's how innovators work. That's how when you see that there is going to be a need in future, you create the need and you basically roll it out. So people having need is what an opportunity is. Okay. What do these people having need have to do? For you to make money from this opportunity, what do these people have to do? Okay, they have to take a decision. What decision? What decision should they take? There is 2 decisions they can take. Okay, they can say, yes, I will buy from you, or they'll say, no, I won't buy from you. I'm going to buy from someone else. Pure sales. Okay, so basically an opportunity is about a market where there is a group of people who have a need and they are taking a decision to buy. Yes, we will buy, or no, we will not buy, or we will not buy from you, we'll buy from him. That's when an opportunity is created in the market. Does this make sense? If it makes sense, please type yes. So very simply put, this is business. Okay, when you see there is an opportunity in the market, there is a people in having need, and they are taking a decision, yes, we'll buy, or no, we'll not buy. It's very simple. But why is it so simple? Giving a solution to the need. Yeah, it could be a problem, it could be a product, it could be anything, but there is a need or there's a problem. Okay, a problem is a need. You need to solve the problem. So a problem is also a need. Okay, so understand that this is how it works. But for this opportunity, so you saw this bracket that came up, right? On the left side, there's a bracket that has come up. So for this opportunity for you to basically, pursue the opportunity, find the people having need, and help them take a decision, yes, to buy from you. What do you need? What should you have? you should have a solution or something, right? But for you to basically market that solution and everything, what should you have as a backup, as an infrastructure? There should be an infrastructure, right? That's your, type the answer if you know. That's your, one person can type this answer. So what's that infrastructure that you are creating to basically service the needs in the market? It's your, what guys think? It's very simple. No, it's not opportunity. It's your company. Your company is basically the infrastructure. Your business is basically infrastructure that you're creating to basically pursue. No, it's not your expertise. Please understand, it's not your expertise. It's the business that you have working in. It's a company that you're working in. It's not the product or service. It's the company. Because to pursue that opportunity, to find that people who are having a need, to help them take a decision, yes, we'll buy from you, or no, we'll not buy from you. You basically have an overhead cost. Okay. You basically have an overhead cost. So if you need to give that product or service, if you need to provide that expertise, if you need to basically service that opportunity, you need a company. And running a company costs money. And that cost is called overhead. Okay. Many of you are going to get a life-changing perspective right now. The reason why I went through 200 people is because one of my realizations was, out of the 200 people, there was only 20% people who were actually doing the business in this way. Okay. And they were very successful. So this is why I'm sharing the secret with you. Okay. So overheads is basically your company. Does this make sense? So type yes. So you need to have a company. That company has an overhead. If you are having that infrastructure already, you can basically pursue the opportunity, find the people having need, provide them with the information with which they can take a decision, and yes or no. Okay, they can say yes or they can say. If it's a maybe, it's a no. Okay, what like Yapshat said, if people come, if salespeople come and they keep telling you stories, sir, telling stories, that maybe is a no. Till that money, till that order has come into your kitty, into your order book, that opportunity is costing you money. You're going to see how. So when someone says yes, okay, I'm going to tell you how. When someone says yes, there is a selling price. Selling price. A selling price is operational cost. Reduce your operational cost from that selling price. And then you also reduce any cost price associated with your raw materials, your conversion of some material or knowledge, or purchasing something from here and trading. So it could be a cost price. When you subtract operational cost and cost price from the selling price, what do you get? Please type out your answer. What do you get? Those who know the answer and done this with me, please wait before you're typing. Let the others who have not done this exercise with me, please do this. Profit, okay? Please type. Please type. All of you, please type. What do we get after we reduce the operation cost and cost price? Margin, actual profit. Profit. Geo Joseph, what's your profession? Can you type your profession? What's your profession? Geo Joseph, I just want to know what's your profession. You're a manufacturer. I got it. That's why. So you are basically calculating a lot of other things. I knew that you are not as just a businessman, but you had something bigger. So Geo Joseph, thank you for sharing that. It is the margin. That question mark is the margin. Because on a single sale, that's the margin on that sale. Why is it the margin? Because over a period of time, okay, in a month, whatever cumulative margins you're making, cumulative margins that you're making is that gross profit. So whatever time gap you're calculating in, could be a week, it could be a month, it could be a year, it could be a half year, it could be a quarter, whatever it is. That is the gross profit for that period. Okay. Then what is actual profit? Now, what is actual profit? So do you want to know that? Type yes if you want to know that. What is actual profit? Good. I want to see a bit more yeses. I want to make sure people are still here. Yes. Some more yeses. Let's get some more yeses. Faster, guys. Let's see that all of you are here. Good, excellent. So gross profit, okay, has come up because you have basically taken the cumulative margins, subtracted it from the selling price. Sorry, So, yeah, you've taken the operational cost and the cost price, subtract from the selling price, you got a margin, and you're taking the gross margins for a period of time. That's your gross profit. Your actual profit or loss is gross profit minus overheads. So gross profit, when you take it and you subtract your direct costs, your rents, your staff salaries, your salesman salaries, everything, that's when you get profit or loss. ഇവിടെയാണ് ആ 8% പോകുന്നത്. കാരണം what happens is that 8% that you have not calculated, 8% which your auditor or your accountant is coming back and telling you, കൊല്ലം അവസാനം ഞാൻ പറഞ്ഞില്ല 18% ലാഭം ആവറേജ് ഉണ്ടാവും എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞിട്ട് പിന്നെ അവസാനം 10% അവിടെ എവിടെ വെച്ചാൽ ഈ ഓവർ ഹെഡ് നമ്മൾ സെയിൽസ് കാൽക്കുലേറ്റ് ചെയ്യുമ്പോൾ സെയിൽസ് മാർജിൻ നമ്മൾ കാൽക്കുലേറ്റ് ചെയ്യുമ്പോൾ we are not actually. That's where you're making your loss. If this makes sense, please say yes. So if you learned something new right now, please type the word new. I will repeat. Please type the word new if you learned something new right now. Good. Excellent. So what I'm saying is, Shyam, I'm going to repeat this once again. Okay. Over a period of time, whatever margins you're making on individual sales, that is cumulated. Okay. ഇപ്പോൾ നമ്മൾ 100 രൂപന്റെ 10 സെയിൽ ഉണ്ടാക്കിയാൽ 1000 രൂപന്റെ സെയിലാണ് നമുക്ക് കിട്ടുന്നത്. അതിൽ നമുക്ക് 10% ലാഭമാണ്. ഓക്കെ. 10% ലാഭം നമ്മൾ we are calculating on our operational cost and our cost price. Operational cost എന്തുണ്ടാവുന്ന വെച്ചാൽ നമുക്കൊരു ഓർഡർ കിട്ടിക്കഴിഞ്ഞാൽ when we get an order, we know exactly how much time, how much petrol we have to fill for the vehicles that to service that order, how much time our staff is going to take to service that order, how much all those things that is there associated with that order we understand. But what we are not looking at is a hidden cost. You would be calculating it by giving it a 5% calculation or something like that. Many of the people who do that, they actually end up making profit at the end of the year. But many people are not doing that. They only calculate the expenses required to service that order or that specific project. And they do not calculate the overhead cost that comes in. Overhead is only calculated in the profit and loss and balance sheet, which is why I tell people that you have to make your profit and loss and balance sheet as frequently as possible. Does it make sense, Shyam? Yes? Thank you. So profit and loss and gross profit. This is basically the financial model of your business. When you are not making profit, it basically you have to invest financial capital into your business. Okay, could be in terms of loans, it could be in terms of equity, it could be in terms of anything, but basically financial capital. So this green part of this diagram is basically the financial aspect of it. Why I made it clear over here is you will not understand opportunity cost till you understand this. So one of the things you have to understand is, okay, for the fixed cost, okay. So if you are making an average of 15% profit per annum on your business, like every year, and your balance sheet and your balance sheet is showing 15% net profit, do you want to know how you can make it 18%? Do you want to know how you can make it 18%? Yes? Okay. This is where social capital comes in. Okay. I'm going to show you how. So when someone takes a decision, okay, when someone takes a decision to buy from you, what are they looking at? What are they looking at? So type the things that you think people are looking at when they want to buy from you. Why do they take the decision to buy from you? Price, okay. But don't look at price. Okay, price basically sometimes is not a factor at all, like how Yapshat said. Quality, experience, service, portfolio, product feature, quality, service, relationship, after service, value for money, or testimonials, feedback, value for one. Okay, hold it. Okay, thank you for those who put it. Hold it. Think about one word that can contain everything that you type right now. Think about that one word that can contain everything that you typed out right now. For BNI members, you know about this word. No, it is not trust, it is not customer, it's not reference. No, it's not reference. So in VCP, there's something in the middle. What does that C stand for? Credibility. Credibility is a very beautiful word. Okay. Credibility is a very beautiful word. I'll tell you why credibility. So brand also comes under credibility. I'm telling you why. Okay. Have you heard this thing called beauty lies in the eye of the beholder? Beauty lies in the eye of the beholder. Yes. Type yes if you heard this. So beauty lies in the eye of the beholder literally means that if you find a flower beautiful, I might not find that flower beautiful. For me, some other flower is beautiful. So my definition of Beautiful is my definition of beautiful. Your definition of beautiful is your definition of beautiful. Same way, credibility, your credibility is not your definition about who you are. It's what others think about who you are. What people see you as credible is completely different. You might be the same person you are, but your friends see you credible in a different way. Your parents see you differently. Your wife sees you differently. Your relatives see you differently. Your uncle will see you differently. Your cousins will see you differently as how credible you are. The same way, your customers, when they are buying from you, what credibility they are looking for you is not dependent on what you think about yourself. It's dependent on what they are looking for. Does this make sense? That credibility also lies in the eyes of the customer, not in your hands. So what you have to understand is, you got a position. So this is where it's a very, very big sales secret. Okay, guys, I'm going to tell you one of the biggest sales secrets. You have to understand what the needs of your customer is. Okay, I'm going to give you a strategy which I have used. I have a company that sells tools, industrial tools and equipments. I have sold, so I'm telling you this story where I have sold 400 toolboxes. I have sold it directly. Okay, I was a salesperson who handled that. 400 toolboxes for 400 laborers. That order was worth 2.5 Indian crore rupees. Indian rupees, 2.5 crores of Indian rupees. Okay, 400 toolboxes. I had competitors that were bigger than me. My company is very small. We have 4 employees and I was a 5th person. I was working in that order against companies that had 50, 60 employees working in their stores, had big stores and everything. But I closed that order. Do you know how? Because I went to the customer. I gave my sample toolbox and everything. The sample toolbox of others were also similarly good. The thing is, I went to the store and I asked the person in the store, the storekeeper. Cheta, he was from Trivandrum. So I asked him, Cheta, he gave me a kali chai, a black tea, and he asked him, Cheta, why do people buy again and again in your company? When do you buy tools? Is it because it gets damaged or is it because something else? He told me, you know, tools usually don't get damaged. What happens is the staff basically, it loses. So, you know, we have a lot of sands here. All the project happens in sands. So the tools go down, fall down from structures and they can't find it again. And then what happens is they come and place the order and they buy it. Usually the return is very low because of damage. That was good news for me. You know what I did? I went back. So the customer was asking me, what guarantees can you give me, Shabib? Because your companies are bigger, their brands are very much bigger. You are a small company. What guarantees can you give me? I went and told him, listen, your project is for 2 years. During your project duration, if any tool that is not abused, not overloaded, comes back because of damage, I will replace it for you. He asked me, can you put in writing? I took a risk. I said, I'll give it to you in writing. I gave it in writing in my quotation. Okay. So it's a 2.5 crore rupees quotation. I wrote down any guarantees to replace tools that are damaged because of manufacturing defect, not because of abuse and normal wear and tear. He was happy. I got that order. You know how much rupees worth of tools came back to me because of complaint? Can you even guess how much it came? Just type the rupee value if you think. Out of 2.5 crores, how many rupees worth of tools came back to me as damaged? It's not zero. It's a bit higher. It was 1,000 rupees worth. Okay, 50 riyals worth of tools came back to me. Got it? So I understood what credibility my customer was looking for. Whatever I would have told him in terms of everything else was the same thing my client, my competitors were also saying. But where he understood that there is a credibility factor he can depend on was the fact that I wrote it down and I gave it to him. Does that make sense? It was not 5%, it was 5,000 rupees. 2.5 crores and 1,000 rupees is a lot of difference. It's not 5%. Just what I told you about credibility just makes sense. So how many of you are actually selling in this way? How many of you have actually thought about a sales process in this way? Say I if you have done it, say X if you have not done it. Great. Guys, I'm so happy. I'm so happy right now because this is my life's mission, helping people sell easier. The thing is, you got to ask your clients the right questions. Your sales happens when you ask your clients the right questions. Okay. If you ask your clients the right questions, they will tell you exactly what they want. And when they tell you what they want, then you are able to assure them that you will be able to service this. That's where you're going to close the sale. That's where credibility is. You know why that is so important? Because you are trying to form something with your clients. What is it that you're trying to form with your clients? What is it that you're trying to form with your clients? What is it that you are trying to find? Trust bond. Yeah, trust and bond creates what? Trust and bond creates what? Relationship. Exactly. Naufal, very good. It's the relationship. You're trying to create a relationship. And relationship is basically credibility. If when the other person sees that you're credible in his eyes, he forms a relationship. He wants to form that relationship with you. He wants to do that with you. He wants to be friends with you. He wants to be a customer. Create that want in them by making sure you're answering the credibility. When you do that, when this circle that you're seeing here gets fulfilled, right? When you're getting the perfect balance of these four things, then this is what you will get. This is what you will get. The yes from your client. Does that make sense for you? And think back for all that sales that you lost. Think back about all that sales that you have lost. You will see that one aspect of this was not seen by you in those sales that you not take care of one of these aspects in all that prospecting, all that sales that you lost. Yes or no? Say agree if you agree with me that in the sales that you have lost, it is basically an imbalance in one of these boxes that has basically made you lose that sales. Amazing. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you for being honest with me. I really appreciate it. I really love it when people are honest. Now, you know, relationships are funny. Okay. Relationships require an investment. What is the investment required in relationships? What's the investment required in relationships? What is the investment required? Ravichandra, wow, excellent. Ravichandra Saab, you're here. Nice to see you here. He's a very good friend of mine from Chennai. Thank you for being here. So there is basically time is required. Okay. Now, what reduces your time required for the decision that or the relationship to create is basically positive mind share. How much positive mind share are you able to create with people? So Yapshat said that you need 15 people in your team to basically make sure that you're having a steady flow. What you're basically doing is you're creating a probability that the positive mind share about your company in the market is stable enough for you to keep on getting orders. Now, the thing that people do is they invest a lot of money in creating positive mind shares. But positive mind share is very much possible with very minimal expenditure and with proper planning and proper habits. One thing it helps us a network like BNI. Does that make sense? So if you think that BNI makes sense, type BNI in this box. Great, thank you. Thank you. So now you know why BNI works. Okay, it's for those who are BNI members, now you know why BNI works. And I did not say the word BNI till now. Okay, what happens is when you're doing this, okay, when this positive mindset is being created, this is the investment you're creating. This is the capital you're creating, social capital. When you create the social capital, when there is enough positive mindset, when enough people start thinking about you, please understand that your sales will start growing faster than you are spending money. Your sales will come to you easier than you need to spend overheads to create it. This is where your percentage of profit goes up. This is where profitability comes in. Does this make sense? If your things make sense to you, say yes. So are you happy that you were able to see this diagram today? Tell me if you are happy. Type happy if you are happy about what you just learned. Thank you so much, people. You guys are so amazing. You guys are making me so happy. Please give me your prayers. Me and my family need your prayers right now. And I need all the prayers and all the positive mindshare you can give me right now to make sure that we are all able to go ahead through this. Thank you so much. So can I go to the next screen? I will have Yapshat share the PDF with all the participants by making sure that I'll share the PDF with them and I'll share that it will come to you. Okay, so with this, I'm going to the next screen, next matter about this. The important thing that you have to understand here is, okay, there is three things that positive mindshare is created through. The first thing is by you understanding exactly who are the people with the need. You have to understand who are the people with the need. You have to understand what is the factors that they are going to take that. What is that thing that you can do for them to fulfill that need? And why they will take a decision by from you. If you know this, and if there is enough people who know this about you, then believe me, you will make money. I'm telling this with total excitement and total passion. I am telling you, you will make money if you know clearly who is the people who are having need, what problem of theirs are you able to solve, and why they should buy from you. When you are able to factor this out and couple it with the credibility setting factors, questions that you can give it to them, if you're able to tailor your questions in the right way, you will end up closing so much more sales than you ever did. Are you excited right now that you know this? You got to be excited, guys, because what you are learning right now is a lot of secrets right now. There's a lot of secrets that you guys are learning. Okay. So what I'm going to show you next is basically how this comes together in a sentence. Okay. Because many people, they don't understand the diagram. Sometimes they need the sentence. So definition of an opportunity is basically an opportunity for us to grow our business is to find the people. So I have basically colored this letters with the colors I used in the diagram. So opportunity was blue. Remember the colors if you can. I'll just go back to the colors so that you guys can understand how the colors is. Opportunity, this part is blue, this part is green, and this part is orange. Okay, remember this because I'm going to use those words in sentences as we go to the next slides. So opportunity, so in this sentence, what I've done is, an opportunity for us to grow a business is to find the people who have the need for what we have to offer, and we are able to convince them why they have to decide to buy from us. Make sense? Say yes if you think so. Right? So what I did is, I just made a sentence out of what? Out of this central part. Got it? I just made a sentence out of this central part. Okay. Now, if we didn't win the opportunity, we lose money. Why? Because our overheads still keep ticking. Our overheads still keep on going because if we do not win the opportunity, we are losing money. Okay. Do you want to lose money? Say no if you don't want to lose money. You don't want to lose money. None of us want to lose money, right? Good. At least we are clear about that. Excellent. So one thing you have to understand is, again, opportunities are never lost. Okay. So when you lost that opportunity, it's not that you just didn't lose money, but someone else took it. Someone will take the opportunity that you miss. Do you want that to happen? You don't want that to happen, right? You don't want this to happen. You don't want someone else to take the opportunity. You want that opportunity because you just don't lose money, but you are basically losing the opportunity to someone else. And he's going to make money and then he's going to make more money. But you got to stay ahead of your competition. Got it? So which is why why a platform like BNI is so amazing. You know, I really love BNI for a lot of things that it does. Now, definition of a great opportunity. A great opportunity. So again, I'm going to use the words and the colors. Look at the colors and the words. Okay. A great opportunity for us to grow our business is to get reference. So reference comes from positive mind share. From people we share relationships with. So we share relationship with a lot of people and we get positive mindset reference because of the positive mindset to the people who have the need. So these people have relationship with other people who have the need for what we have to offer. They have a need for what we have to offer and they already are aware of our credibility. What they are looking for as credibility is being answered by someone else, someone who has relationship with us and know why they have to decide to buy from us. We didn't have to do anything. Someone else who has a relationship with us did it. Does that sound like great opportunity to you? Say yes if you think so. You have to really understand the sentence. Read the sentence. The sentence is an amazing sentence. Basically, if you use the sentence properly, many of your sales will not require any cost from your side. It will just come to you just like that with zero cost. Zero opportunity cost. That's what will happen for you. Make sense? Excellent. Excellent. This is great because it saves us money by reducing our opportunity cost. Now you understand about mindshare and opportunity cost, right? So type right if you have understood what is mindshare and what is opportunity cost. Right. Okay, let me see rights from everyone because this is where I have to finish. Let's get those fingers running, guys. We gotta get those fingers running. Excellent. Let me see some more rights. Right. Excellent. Superb. Thank you so much for being here. So I want to end this my presentation with this final quote from one of our best leaders of India. You know, he's a great scientist. He's a great achiever. He's a great president. He's someone who has inspired all of us, Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam. To succeed in your mission, you must have single-minded devotion to your goal. What is your goal? You gotta have that single-minded dedication. You gotta be devoted to what you're doing. So what you're doing right now during this lockdown, what you're going to do after this, and what you're going to do next year is so important. Focus on your mission, guys. Focus on your passion. Focus on why you're here. Focus on getting things right. Focus on learning. Focus on teaching your staff how to do this. And make sure you're going to do that so that you succeed. Do you want success? If you wanted what you have learned, please apply it. What you have learned today, you can only succeed if you take what you have learned today and apply it in your life. Apply it in your company. Please do that for me. Please do that for me, because that is what will make this time that I have devoted to you very, very much worth the valuable value that we are going to be creating, okay, together. With that, thank you. Yapshat, you can come back on track and we will take up questions.
Okay, thank you, Shabib, for sharing such amazing content. It is totally content heavy. Lot of information was there. Thank you so much from bottom of my heart. You're a brother to me. Like I always see two person as my brother from another mother, of course. One is better and one is you.
You're welcome. Thank you so much for the opportunity. I really have to thank you for the opportunity.
Okay.
This is the first time I'm doing this on webinar. I was not sure how it went. Okay. But saying for the participants, thank you so much, guys, for the great feedback.
Can you turn off this?
Yeah, I stopped the screen share. Right.
Okay. So, guys, if you have any question right now, you can post it in the question and answer option, Q&A option. And yes. One thing, Shabib, you reminded me of a lot of things, and I would like to share it. One thing, when you said you were okay with having zero balance in your account, I was much worse than that. I had -18 in my account, and the very next year, on the very same day, I had 34 lakhs in my account. So that was my journey. Now, when I think about it, it's a different feeling, but at that moment, it was totally shitty. And one thing,
you gotta be positive, right?
Yeah. And one thing you were sharing about the SWOT analysis. And one thing normally I see people does is when they do SWOT analysis, they lie in the SWOT analysis.
Exactly.
They just imagine, like, they write not the facts, what they just write what they feel is right.
So they write the goals. They don't write the reality. You know, in the grow methodology that we use for coaching, what I've seen when people are making the SWOT analysis is they don't write what is real right now. They basically write on what is a goal. And then basically it's a mismatch, right? Because you're writing about a goal, you're not actually understanding what's your reality, and you're not connecting it with what you have to do. So when you write that, when you do the SWOT analysis properly, you basically can create a goal statement also. A mission statement can come out of your SWOT analysis. It's something that I really hold very divine. SWOT analysis is something that I hold very divine to a lot of philosophies that I hold in terms of being a business coach, and in terms of even in my business also. So it's something that you have to do. So SWOT is, Febin, SWOT can, we can spend hours explaining about SWOT. But one thing I'll tell you what very simply that you have to do about it is, you basically got to write what is your strength. Okay, you got to understand what you're strong about. What are your weaknesses? Because if there are weaknesses, you got to overcome that. You got to understand what are the opportunities that you can use the strength to sell, maybe to provide a service, to fill a gap in the market, fulfill a need. So it is a strength that you can take and you can do this. You cannot take a weaknesses and do it, because a weakness has to be converted into a strength if you need to capitalize on this opportunity. So if you are looking at an opportunity in the market and you are understanding that you only have 50% strength and 50% is basically weaknesses, till you are able to convert those weaknesses into a strength by investing in the right things. Maybe it could be learning, it could be infrastructure. You need a bigger store, a bigger showroom, or a bigger office, or better staff. So till you convert that weakness to a strength, then only then can you connect to invest in the opportunities that is there. Capitalize the strength and invest in opportunities, but you got to overcome the weaknesses. If the weaknesses are going to pull you down from creating profit out of the opportunities, then basically that has to be overcome. It has to be mitigated. That has to be removed. Now, many of us, threats are internal. So threats are external. Weaknesses are internal. Threats, like what happened with COVID, is a threat. It's not in your control. weaknesses are in your control. You can basically change it into a strength. So if you use this profession properly, you got to basically use the right mix of this. Okay, it's like tossing a coin. So how many sides does a coin have? How many sides does a coin have? Can anyone answer in the chat box? Two. Okay. So what are the two sides? What are the two sides? Come on, heads or tails, right? Heads and tails. Very good. So when you toss a coin like this, it either falls on head or it falls on tails, right? But there's another thing that also can happen. I'm telling you, there are three sides to a coin, right? Have you ever seen a coin fall on its edge?
Yeah.
Right? So what happens is when you toss heads or tails, basically, yeah, Anthony, try it. Believe me, you got to just try it again and again. Okay. So basically, you just toss the coin. It can either land on heads or tails. But what I believe in, when you get it to land on the edge, is when both of you win. Okay. So when you're trying to toss it, you're either trying to say, okay, you are wrong and I'm right, or I'm wrong and you are right. What happens when you're on the tails is, what I tell people is, if it falls on tails, guys, just agree and try to do it together. So I always try to make sure that we are able to find the balance in which we can move forward. Because when a coin falls on its edge, the coin basically rolls. When it falls on heads or tails, it lays there. There's no momentum. So I'm speaking metaphorically, okay? So this is the mindset I have. When I'm working with someone, I got to complement the strengths and the weaknesses. Now, if you're going to be having a strength, okay, so one question that was here is Ravichandran is saying, it is not wise to invest more on the strength rather than focusing on the so-called weaknesses. I feel weakness is a mindset issue. Many a time it is a mindset issue, but sometimes it is a resource issue also. So what I'm saying is, if you do not have the warehouse to store 50 cars, and you're going to say, okay, I'm going to start a used car sales showroom, and you have only space for 2 cars, does it make sense? It doesn't make sense, because if you want to have a premium showroom, you got to have that space. So sometimes this weakness is a weakness. You got to overcome it. So what you could do is you could partner with someone who has a facility like that. Got it? So you got to complement the strength, your weakness, with someone who has a strength. So it could be partnering, it could be investing, it could be basically collaborating also. So you got to find that balance. That's what I always do. Now, this is something, you know, it's all about perspectives, people, because you got to understand that many things what I say, you could say it's wrong or it's right, but understand what I'm giving you is not a right or wrong thing. What I'm asking you is to start looking at things differently. I'm just asking you to look at things from a different angle. Okay, so someone mentioned angle. Y sides, Y angle is 4, which is, you know, so you got to look at a different angle. So when you look at the coin from the edge, suddenly you start seeing an area that is actually equal to the heads or tails. Have you actually looked at the area of the circumference of the coin? That area is almost equal to one of the sides. So you got to understand there's a lot of perspectives we got to bring. It's just that you sometimes need someone to actually coach you with that.
One more thing, my clients do right now, they have given a task to the employees because they are free at home. They are doing SWOT analysis of their competitor, so that once the lockdown is lifted, they are in full-fledged to beat the competition.
Okay. So Ravichandra, I think your questions are answered. We will just put that into done.
We'll take the forward question.
Yeah, I'll take, as a recruitment professional for 20 years, the biggest challenge every SME faces sales guys, the sales process, right? Coaching all time, boomerang. Your thought on capacity building. So that's what I said. Build positive mindset, look at reducing your opportunity cost. I do not think it's a wise thing to actually focus on building a sales team right now. Whatever sales team you have right now, reskill them. That's what I say. Reskill them. Give them new skills or alter their skills, which will match, because they have some loyalty to you for taking care of them for so many years. And now even during this lockdown, if you're paying salaries and they're being with you, take care of them, retool their mind to actually adapt to the new challenges and the new market conditions, and then go ahead. So we can elaborate a lot on this, Ravi, but I will say that for now, we will just leave it at this, and maybe at a later stage, we can take a bit longer discussion on this. Fawaz's question, Yapshad, you can read it out.
Fawaz is asking, sir, regarding the overheads to be considered in the sales price, it is not possible in every business to have that much margin to cover the overheads too. So how does it work in that scenario?
So the question I have is, Fawaz, you are absolutely, I mean, my answer is you're absolutely right. But you ask people who are doing that, how much are you actually covering? And most of the time they will say is we put a round figure of 10%, we put a round figure of 5%. They're not actually calculating the exact amount. What I am saying is, so you saw Geo putting that margins. You know, in manufacturing, they look at everything. Even the cost of petrol and getting a raw material from somewhere to your place actually makes an impact. I remember the story about how Ujala became the market leader. Okay, so Ujala, when it was first manufactured, they were having a challenge with transporting it all over India. Okay, what happened is the owner of Ujala, I don't remember the name and everything. I learned this from, I'm borrowing this story from Nasser, Coimbatore BNI director. He's the one who mentioned this to me. How he changed the game is, he had a friend who was basically transporting big plastic water tanks all over India. What he came up with the deal with them to basically fill their water tanks with Ujala. So he started thinking like a smuggler. He put the Ujala bottles inside the big tanks that was being transported all over India. And he reduced his transportation costs so that he was able to basically cut his price and become a market leader. So there are people who think out of the box. Sometimes you just got to think out of the box. So immediately what happened is he became a market leader because he was able to get the cost to customer reduced and make the same margin that he was making in South India also. So that's how you got to think. Sometimes you got to just think in a different perspective. I hope I answered your question with that for us. Yes.
So Ravi Chandran is saying, I said from a service industry perspective, some of our co-said weakness could be outsourced. Yes. Collaboration is the key.
Collaboration is the key. You got to ask, like how, you know, what I tell people is, you know, when we are brought up, you know, all of us are basically, I think some of you are very young. I know that I'm middle-aged. I would say yes, middle-aged, 37 years old. But you know, when I used to study, basically, it was not about collaboration. It was basically doing everything on your own. You got to finish your homework. You got to do that. You got to do this. You got to be first. You got to do that. Everything was on your own. You were never asked to collaborate with anybody. So we came up with the mindset that it's a shame to ask. It's not macho to ask. Even for girls also, you know, even for women, you know, you to take care of a home, you should be able to take care of everything yourself. You should not look for help for anything. You need to learn to cook like this. You got to do that. You got to do those. It's basically a mindset that we were overloaded with the thought that we have to be good at everything. No. Even an organization like BNI, what it tells us, focus on your niche. What is a niche you're good at? Create that niche and create your expertise in that. Now, if you look at me, I'm basically the executive director of BNI, but I created a niche in understanding what is opportunity cost, and I have started coaching my clients. I'm doing coaching outside of BNI to basically help people find more value out of the opportunity cost that they're incurring. And I sit with them, I spend a few days with them, and I help them reduce their opportunity cost and make more money. So understanding your niche and basically collaborating is a major way. If someone comes to me and tells me, Shabib, I want to basically learn how to recruit better, I will refer someone like Ravi. I will not take it up on my own. I'm not going to be basically taking that and dilute the value I'm going to give to someone who is looking to reduce the opportunity cost, because then my mind is now being utilized to do something which I'm not an expert in. So I prefer to stay in my area of niche capacity and charge what I'm doing. And if someone is coming to me right now and asking my services, what I tell them is, listen, for me to spend time with you, it has to be more valuable for me than what I'm doing for BNI members. So you got to make sure that you pay me well. So Yakshad, what you said about charging high value, and someone who asked what is the prospect for business consulting earlier on, this is the mindset you should have. You should understand what your value is and what value you're giving. I told you, I have invested hundreds of hours into generating the content that you saw. What I presented to you in the last 1.5 hours is worth hundreds of hours of research, hundreds of hours of working on the idea, fine-tuning it. I can show you the first diagram. The first diagram doesn't look anything like this. It's very primitive, but coming into this diagram, it took a lot of effort. So I focused on that niche. I focused on understanding how this works, making sure that I am convinced about what I'm doing. I am passionate about what I'm doing. I want to be the best knowledge person in what I'm doing. I make sure that I'm doing that. So that's what I did. So I hope that answers that basically complements your comment, Ravi. Thank you so much. If we do not have any other questions, I really would like to thank everyone for coming here and taking your time, and really, Yakshad, what you're doing with the series of 18 classes is amazing. I really am impressed with the initiative that you take. It takes quite a different mindset to actually be able to inspire people at this time. You know, there are very few people in that mold. And thank you for making this opportunity available for me. And I really humbly, I really have to thank all of you for giving me this opportunity for being able to speak to you and being patient with what I have to say, and keeping your fingers busy with the comments. Thank you so much.
Okay, I have just shared links of Facebook group and WhatsApp group. Shabib will be part of that Facebook group and WhatsApp group. If you want to learn more from Shabib, you can ask him over there. Also, he will be sharing the slides over there. So please make sure you join that Facebook group and WhatsApp group. The link is shared in the chat box.
I'm sharing my number.
Yeah, sure.
I'm sharing my WhatsApp number. This is my WhatsApp number. I would love it if you could give me a testimonial about how this has helped you, and if you give me permission to basically copy it and paste it my Facebook page for Zenex Life. My Zenex website is zenex.life, and please give me a testimonial on WhatsApp is enough. No problem. I'll just take a screenshot, and if you give me permission to share it in my Facebook group, that'll be amazing. Yes, please, Abhishek.
Okay. So thank you, Shabib, once again for sharing all those wisdom and helping business community in Kerala. And thank you each and every participant who came over here to participate and learn from us. Thank you so much for coming. And tomorrow we have Thrive Together and Struggle Alone. Thrive Together versus Struggle Alone. Phil Bedford, the Rebel Networker, is an amazing person. There's a lot of stuff you have to learn from him. So see you tomorrow. Till then, bye-bye. Thank you, Shabib.
Bye. Thank you. Thank you. Bye-bye. Stay safe.
Stay safe. Yeah.